Thanks for joining us for City Council Comments. I'm Steve Erickson along with Councilmember Brian Armstrong. Today we're talking about both the November 7th and our November 21st council meetings. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks. It's good to be here.
Yeah, this is your first appearance on the show.
Yep.
We gave you a year, almost a year to get up to speed. How have things been going?
They've been going really well. It's amazing how, I always kind of think of Coon Rapids as the nice small town that's not so small anymore, but yes, there is a lot going on and there's a lot to keep you busy.
Yeah, that's great. All right, we'll talk a little more later on. We're going to jump right into things here and start off by talking about what happened here on our Tuesday, November 21st council meeting. One of the first items there was to proclaim Small Business Saturday. We're kind of in the holiday shopping season now.
Yep, coming up this Saturday, the 25th. And it's just basically go out and support your Coon Rapids and your Anoka County businesses, small businesses. I mean, in my area that I cover, I've got, Jensen's, we've got Shortstop, we've got Forever Floral, been around forever. They're great, steady businesses, and they need your support not only on Saturday, but through the rest of the year as well.
Exactly. So obviously, Small Business Saturday is the push when we all think about it, but throughout the year, they need our support as well.
Yep.
All right. Council adopted a resolution accepting the 2024 statewide health improvement program grant. Otherwise, this is known as SHIP, and we're getting some money, correct?
Yep. It's one of the many programs that city staff goes out and digs up for us or finds for us so that we can make things operate. This particular one we're using for, it's like a $5,000 grant, and this year they're using it to update the maps for the bike trails for the parks, just everything that's going on around the city. It's been about 5 years since they've been updated, and there's been a lot of changes since then. So,
yeah, we've kind of put in some of those connections and added things. So we know our parks are well used and well done. So people will definitely love that updated map. Moving forward here, Council adopted an ordinance to permit beekeeping and revise the definition of non-domestic animals. This is actually something that we've been piloting for almost 2 years now. This started as a pilot. I'm sure you've had many discussions on beekeeping, more than you ever thought, but this is something we are officially moving forward with now.
Yeah. In fact, this was one of a few things this year that was kind of enlightening as far as what goes on in the city, because when this first came to the table for me, I didn't realize they'd been working on it as long as they had. But again, you know, when you're talking about beekeeping, you've got people that are afraid of them, you got people that are allergic to them, etc. Right. So there was a lot of time spent going into this to make sure that it would, if people wanted to explore this and do it, it would work. But at the same time, you've got to take your neighbors and everybody else into account as well, so that it works for everybody. So it wasn't something that was just, hey, let's give this a shot. Yeah, they did some trials and whatever else, and it came back with a lot of positive feedback. So it'll be interesting to watch it go forward.
Well, yes, because the trials were with two experienced beekeepers that were also happened to be Coon Rapids residents. They tried this out at the community gardens and also at the wastewater treatment plant, and now we're moving forward with it. There are rules, regulations. Council also introduced a beekeeping permit fee, which is proposed to be $115 for the staff time involved in this. So the part that I read, that it sounds like staff will be the one sort of to make the decision of where the bees can be kept, so it's not a nuisance to neighbors. Is that one of the bigger elements of it?
Yeah, in fact, that's kind of one of the areas that was well thought out. You'd think, boy, if I'm going to keep bees, I'd probably want it on the far back corner of my yard or whatever. Well, you're right on your neighbor's property there. So yeah, there's some regulations and rules set up to where you need to have them, so that there's area for the bee flight path to not affect your neighbors and whatnot. But yeah, my daughter-in-law, she doesn't live in Coon Rapids, but my daughter-in-law has been doing this for a few years, and it's amazing how much work gets put into that. And it sounds like fun and sounds like a neat hobby and whatever else. But yeah, there's a lot you need to put into it to make sure that it's successful. So.
All right, now you can raise chickens and bees.
Yeah, yep.
Same time in Coon Rapids.
Yep, and it costs as much to raise bees as it does a chicken.
Yeah, there you go. All right, moving forward, Council approved a food and beverage service agreement extension. This is with Morrissey Hospitality Company at Bunker Hills. We're always hearing, I feel, rave reviews about this place.
Yep. Yeah, it's that is a great partnership, and being kind of working outside of the city and getting around a little bit, people all over the area are raving not only about the golf course but Kendall's as well. How great they've done with that project up there, and they've got some additional great ideas that they're working on, and yeah, it's a gem for us to have them there.
Yeah, another independent business, I guess, that you can help support here. They have takeout. I know you can do curbside. We kind of promoted that during the COVID era.
Yep.
And we were just talking, I bet you Bunker's actually been fairly busy this month with the warmer weather that we've had.
Yeah. And when you were mentioning earlier, they've got the weddings that they've got going out there, all the different big events that they've got going. Yeah, it's never a dull moment out there.
Yeah, and this was not, so that was my understanding too. This was not up quite yet, but they do plan out like 12 to 18 months due to those bigger events like weddings, so they kind of needed to know what was going to happen with this agreement.
Yep. Yeah, that was kind of another, neat little insight that you kind of see how things are done on the front side when it comes to restaurants and businesses and just commerce in the city altogether, but you don't realize how much is going on in the background and how things have to be done that far out to make sure that events flow, that the business of the city gets done. So yeah, everything's always done months, years in advance.
All right, so they'll be hanging around. It sounded like at least through about 2029 or so. Because it was like a 5-year agreement.
Yep, I think that's correct.
All right. Well, that's all we have to talk about from our November 21st meeting. We'll jump back now to our first meeting of the month, which took place on Tuesday, November 7th, actually at 8 p.m. Because we had to wait for the polls to close. Because it was a school board election. And we had quite a lengthy agenda there. We're going to start off, though, talking about, we had an oath of officer for our newest police officer. And we've had quite a few of these in our recent council meetings, it seems.
Yeah, that was Jonathan Tomczak. We've got, I believe it's 6 more officers that are going through training right now. I believe the chief said we've got like 15 of them, 15 officers now that are newer for this year. So
yeah, because they were posting for about 3 more, and they had six, and then the 3. So which is half of our street force, from what I understand.
But Officer Tomczak, he comes with great background and whatnot. He's going to be a great benefit to the city.
All right. Always good to see those meetings that people pin on. I believe it was his wife. She's a Crystal officer. This is the one I'm still thinking of. And she was the one to pin on his badge. So that's got to be something special there. Too. Well, welcome aboard. And again, we'll be seeing more of these still in the coming meetings. All right. Moving forward, council approved an on-sale liquor license. This is for Stumpy's Hatchet House. Kind of wanted to talk about this more than just the alcohol. But we have a new business coming up to Riverdale.
Yep, correct. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. If you haven't ever done the hatchet throwing, it seems a little daunting at first. Alcohol and hatchets.
Yes, that seems a little. Have you done this?
I've done it a couple of times before for parties, events, and whatnot. But yeah, it's a very, very safe event. They make sure that they've got everything taken care of. But they're going to have other different types of games and events, things like that are going on there. But I'm sure it'll be a very, very popular place to be.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to it. It's something a little different for Riverdale. So
Yeah, and you actually had to change the zoning or allow a special use there,
Yep.
or to allow this. So we could be seeing more of this in the future.
Yep. Hopefully, we're trying to build Riverdale up even better than it is right now, so that there's more things for people to do and get out and see. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see when they open. They said they were going to announce soon. Hopefully, sometime this winter they'll be open in the next month or two, maybe.
Yep.
But don't quote me.
Oh, believe me, I'm sure at one of the council meetings it'll be announced.
Yeah,
when their
someone
opening is.
will mention it. But they do have a Facebook page, so you can follow them there.
Yep.
All right. Council approved a waiver of a fireworks display license fee for the Coon Rapids Community Strength Foundation. This is coming for our big tree lighting in December.
Yep, December 9th. We're going to have the big community event, but you see these from time to time as well. When we have different events, you have to make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. So just kind of a standard part of doing business in the city. But it's going to be a great event.
Got to have that license fee waived now for the fireworks, which was actually something they just added last year.
Correct.
That was the first year we did that. After the tree lighting, we had like a couple minutes of fireworks, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be shorter than it was, but it actually was several minutes long, and they're planning to do that again this year at the event.
Yep. Yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth. I thought, maybe 5 minutes worth, but it was a lot longer than that. They're going to have bonfires, and they're going to have the free cocoa and cookies, and Santa will be there, and Rocky will be there, and so hopefully the weather will cooperate, but dress warm because it's an outside winter event. But it was really fun last year. They had I believe it was the Coon Rapids Choir, one of their choirs, and there was a couple of others, singers and whatever else. So free music, free food, just a great event overall, and that's going to be over at the Boulevard Plaza right over by the ice rink.
All right, and they'll also be collecting food and monetary donations for the high school food shelf and their compassion fund during that event. So if you're coming out, bring out some food for that. Again, that is Saturday, December 9th, 3:30 to 6 p.m. over at Boulevard Plaza, right next to the Ice Center.
Yep.
Should be a good time, and like you said, bundle up.
Yep.
All right, moving forward, Council adopted a resolution. This is accepting a donation for a park bench. We just had one of these last month as well.
Yep. The family of Jerry Janish, Janish, had given us a $700 donation for a park bench in his honor. I don't believe they've picked a spot for it as of yet, but this is kind of a neat way to remember a family member or remember somebody that was special to the city. So we always appreciate these.
Yeah, and especially too, like if they were an outdoors lover or one of our parks or one of our, it's a perfect type of a thing. So you can find out more online about that process if anybody is interested in the future. Council approved a second-hand dealer license. This is for the Modern Sportsman. This is going in right on the border, I guess, way down by Northtown, kind of the end of Coon Rapids where it transitions into Blaine. Yep.
It's going to be they are an FFL dealer, so they can buy and sell firearms there. I believe, if I remember correctly, they're going to have both a long gun and a pistol range to be able to shoot there. They have if I remember correctly, they have another location in the cities here, but it's something that we don't have in the city right now, especially with if you're a hunter or you want someplace to sight in a long gun. We don't have one, so we do now.
All right. This is down, I want to say like Circuit City is what I think of in that complex, but I feel like it's been so many things. It's in that strip mall, right?
Yep, correct.
Northtown Village, I think is what it used to be called. The whole strip mall, but anyways, right down in that area.
You had more information than I did on that one.
I can't think of what the last thing was that was there. So. All righty, moving forward, Council adopted a resolution. This approves an appointment to the Planning Commission. I feel like we haven't had one of these to our Planning Commission in a while.
Yep. David No was the one that was brought onto the board. And I was not part of the team that went through the interview process, but it sounded like they had a number of really good applicants that they went through, and David was the one that was chosen. He has some previous experience with working with the city as well. I don't know him personally, so I haven't had a chance to meet him yet, but sounds like he's a very good pick for the position.
All right, and this came open because we had one of our planning commission members that had decided to step down.
Yeah, correct.
All right. Moving forward here, council adopted a resolution accepting a donation from Lowe's of Coon Rapids. We always like to receive these donations, right?
Yep. Anything that can. This particular one is going to the fire department. They donated a couple of windows, and they donated a large freezer. And you might be scratching your head going, why'd they donate a couple windows? It's actually going to be used for ladder training to help the firefighters with their training. Whether even if you think, well, geez, it's a couple windows, it's a chunk of money.
I was like, windows aren't cheap, correct?
No, they're not. So every bit that we can help to train police, fire, EMS, etc., we're more than happy to accept it. And we were kind of joking around a little bit with the big freezer. Hopefully they find a way to haul that around to the summer in the parks event so that the ice cream stays frozen for us.
There you go. But because they have the ice cream for it.
Yeah,
so.
But it's actually going to be used for emergency management situations where we need it and whatever else. So again, it's a very much appreciated piece of equipment that we're getting.
Yeah, and because the new fire station up there, Fire Station 3 that's being built across from Anoka Ramsey Community College, is sort of their new training facility.
Correct.
And that's also where the emergency command area is as well, as far as emergency operations for the city going forward.
Yep.
So still waiting on that to open. I keep checking, and everybody just kind of laughs now because it keeps getting pushed back. But we're hoping here in the next, maybe they'll be moving in sometime in December.
Yeah, I was told they're supposed to be in there before the end of the year. So
I say hopefully they're ringing in the new year in the new station, and it'll be in service, and then. But there's been a few finishing touches to get done with that.
Yep.
All right, council adopted an ordinance restricting parking on 95th Lane from Foley Boulevard, 150 feet northwest to Norway Street.
Yep.
This doesn't affect too many people?
No, it does not. In fact, this is in my ward, and I didn't even know it was an issue until somebody brought it up. But basically what it is if you're familiar with that area at all, the street is really narrow at that point for about the first 150 feet, and there's a number of businesses in that area. So with that narrower street, if somebody parks on it, especially during rush hour traffic or peak times, it's really difficult to get through there. So they had to put this in place to be able to keep traffic flowing throughout the day. I think I may have mentioned there's a daycare center and some other things in there. So you got a lot of cars coming and going. So it's just kind of some cleanup work to keep traffic flowing back there.
All right, sounds good. Council approved an agreement with the Anoka Hennepin School District. This is for police department support. We've heard a lot over the past many months about the school resource officer issue in the news, and it's sort of been resolved here for now, as far as interimly here in Coon Rapids.
Yeah. This was a really important one because it affected our students, it affected our teachers, it affected our police, and being able to effectively do their job and be able to protect the teachers and the students like they're supposed to be able to. With the way the legislature came down through the state, there was some verbiage in there that didn't make us comfortable that would be able to be done. So this was a good example of cooperation between the school district, the city, the county, and everybody else putting their heads together and coming back with wording that made everybody a lot more comfortable, allowed the officers to be able to do their jobs efficiently and effectively, and also make the school safer for the students and the teachers. So hopefully it's a win-win-win all the way across the board.
All right, and this sort of looks at that opinion that the Attorney General put down about if they would charge or how they would charge maybe an officer.
Yep.
That the county agrees with that, and that's what the letter of the law is for now, correct?
Yep. Correct. And we've been given enough assurances to make us comfortable that with the laws and everything we've got on the books, that individuals, whoever they are, would be treated fairly and equally across the board if these situations ever had to be looked at.
Right. So pretty much the officers still have their normal training or whatever they're able to do.
Correct.
Now they are able to do in the school.
Correct.
For now. But this issue likely will come back. We'll probably hear more about this in the next legislative session.
Yep.
They may shore up some of the stuff that they passed in the previous session to make it more clear for everyone involved.
That's what they're telling us, and that's what we're going to be watching.
All right. But for now, our resource officers have returned to schools. I think it was about a week after this passed. They were supposed to be back in school, and they will be there, barring anything else that happens in this session until the end of the year at least.
Yep. Correct.
All right. Moving forward, Council adopted a resolution approving a 2024 regional solicitation grant application. This is, we're trying to get some funding to sort of complete the interchange at East River Road and 6 Ton. I feel like we've talked about this now for a couple of years.
Yeah. In fact, some of the dates that they've thrown out there, how long this has been going through the process. I don't think I was in college at the time, but yeah, it's been out there for years and years and years. And kudos to both the city planner and everybody else that's been involved in this thing, because when you've got however many cooks in the kitchen,
right,
everybody comes back or somebody comes back and says this needs to be done, that needs to be done, and they have gotten very creative with the way they have been able to put this in place, and at the same time, the city, long before I got on board here, has been really good about finding the funding through federal, state grants, et cetera, to save the citizens of Coon Rapids a chunk of tax money. So.
All right. So they've been through the design process. We've sort of designed this northeast loop. Was the preferred design, although I thought there was a hitch recently with the railroad possibly.
Yep.
And having that possibly maybe need to be even redesigned.
Yep.
Or changed. But the issue really right now is that there's not funding to move this project forward.
Correct.
So the city is seeking different sources for the possibility of funding to get this project moving.
Yep. It's another one of those fingers crossed type things that we've got the right people in place to be able to get that done. But yeah, there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle to get a project done like this, and they're continuing to move it forward.
All right. But hey, we did get funding in the last legislative session to do the third lane on Highway 10. So that was a big victory. There has been recently an open house on that project that they'll be moving forward with construction maybe as soon as summer and fall of next year going into 2025.
Yep.
So that's going to be nice to have that third lane extended basically from Hanson up to Round Lake Boulevard on both sides.
Yeah, and I don't have the information on right in front of me, but we've got some things coming up as far as sound walls along the highway and whatever else. So
that was an interesting thing. I didn't realize that it was so much of a process, but that's regulated federally as far as noise walls. If they're required for a project, that they have to get approval from the neighbors or nearby properties.
Yep.
Like more than 50% need to vote, to have the sound wall go in. And if they don't, then there isn't a sound wall.
Yep.
And in this particular project, there's like 4 different sound walls. So there's all these different notifications. I believe there's a meeting next week, the last week of November, just basically on the sound wall issue.
Yep.
And then
voting
will take place.
Yeah, they should have got notification, or they will get notification, and there'll be also public notices as far as the meetings coming up to come out and see what the different options are and voice your opinion. So please take advantage of that and make your voice known.
Yep, and we have a link on the city's website to the county's project website that has more on this whole Highway 10 third lane project, including the virtual open house. You can look at the maps and all the stuff there, and even provide feedback.
Yep.
All right, I kind of went off into another topic. We were talking about construction, so I thought that would be good, but that brings us to the end of that agenda and what we wanted to talk about there. We have a couple of holiday skating events, yes, coming up here at the Ice Center.
Yep. I'm going to refer to my paperwork to
You
make
got
sure
it written down, I know.
I get this one right. November 26th, we've got Toys for Joy open skate at the Coon Rapids Ice Arena, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Bring a toy, and you receive a buy one get one free on the public skate admission.
Yep.
So, and then the holiday skate with Rocky is on December 17th. That's from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. also at the Ice Arena. I don't have these in date order. But November 30th, jumping back into November.
Wait, I was going to say about the skate. We have this is the first time. Usually Santa, it's skate with Santa for the one in December, but Rocky has trumped Santa with his return here as the mascot in the city this year.
Yep.
And so that'll be his first event there on ice.
And see if you can get Rocky on skates.
Yeah. We'll see if that happens.
So, but then
and then you have another event coming up here that's helps out and gives back to people this time of year. We have a kickoff event, right?
Yep, the November 30th, City Hall, at City Hall here, Coon Rapids Police, Fire, Public Works. They're going to have a evening session called Big Hearts and Big Trucks from 6 to 8 p.m. That's also a donation drive. Santa will be there, Rocky will be there. You'll be able to take a tour of all the big equipment that the police, fire, and city has. But for donations, if you could bring an unwrapped toy or gently used winter coats, hats, mittens, non-perishable food items. Again, this is all is this the one that's being for the food shelf for the
I believe
high school?
So. Well, no, this would be for ACBC.
Okay, this is for ACBC.
So these are our normal collections that we do every year. The city has the boxes in the entryway at City Hall. So if you want to donate, you can usually do that between Thanksgiving and the middle of December. But they decided to add a kickoff event this year on November 30th, so you can bring your stuff from 6 to 8 that night and check out the cool trucks. Otherwise, you can just bring your stuff by during City Hall business hours till the middle of December. Usually it's ACBC Food Shelf, Granny's Christmas Closet, Alexandra House.
Great cover.
Yes, I think those are the ones. But again, all that information is also on the city's website. So help out others this holiday season.
And then we got the holiday lighting contest.
Yep.
The deadline to enter is December 1st at noon. The judging actually takes place between December 7th and 10th.
Yep.
But again, go out to the city website to get all the details on that as well.
Yep.
And then the last one on my list is December 9th from 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. We mentioned earlier the Tree Lighting Festival at Boulevard Plaza. Free cookies, cocoa, pictures with Santa and Rocky, holiday music. There'll be snow hills to play on, bonfires to stay warm. And then if you could bring a non-perishable food item, that one goes to the Coon Rapids High School food shelf.
Yep. All right, good job. That was a lot to get out.
Wow.
So how are things going? We only got about a minute or so left, but you're doing well here in your first year?
Yeah, 11 months in, and it is really interesting. Like I mentioned earlier, I've lived in Coon Rapids all my life, so I kind of always think of it as small town Coon Rapids, but there's a lot going on in the city, and I mean we have a great city, a lot to be proud of. We had a gentleman that was at the council meeting last night that kind of said a prayer for the city and the county for peace and to love each other, etc. And he had nothing but good things to say about the city, and a majority of the people that I talk to when I'm running into them day to day love the city. That being said, if you have an issue or a concern, by all means reach out to us. We we do love to hear from you because we can't fix what we don't know needs to be fixed.
Yeah, I'm guessing your phone rings a little more now than it did before you were on the council.
That is true. That is true.
All right, well, we are out of time. I appreciate you coming in today and talking to us. Right. We look forward to seeing you again for another show in the future. Thank you at home for watching, and we'll see you back here again in December.